issued for the individual who is the focus of the investigation. The problem is that it went out on May 12th. Ms. Pearson didn't find out till May 18th. It was on social media throughout the entire week. It took MLive to call and email and ask her her opinion about the issuance of a arrest warrant for this individual. When she called the prosecutor to ask him about this, or to ask him about the status of the investigation, the prosecutor has said to Ms. Pearson that they've got too much work, they're underpaid, and they don't have the resources to investigate everything to the level that some people want it investigated. Well, the prosecutor hasn't been drafted into this job, the prosecutor hasn't been forced into this job, and the prosecutor isn't a victim by happenstance. Ms. Pearson can't walk away from her title. She's a victim. She can't give that up. She didn't run for office and ask the people to vote for her to make her a victim. But the prosecutor chose to be the prosecutor. And it is totally inappropriate to give as an excuse and to ask Ms. Pearson to be his therapist regarding not having the resources to do his job. Get out of it. He can walk out that door today and not be penalized for it, for not being a prosecutor anymore if he can't do the job. We know that there's a harsh and a difficult workload, and we know that the pandemic has made it even worse. But we have all experienced that challenge. And none of us has asked anybody else to carry our burdens. Don't put any more burdens on an individual who lost 2 family members in one night. 2 family members in one day. 2 of them. 2 of them. And the prosecutor to place that on Ms. Pearson is unconscionable and totally unacceptable. And then to claim that he called her and we went through her phone and his number is not on her phone from yesterday. So he can tell you guys that he called her, but we would challenge the prosecutor to present to this media his phone log to prove that he actually called Ms. Pearson. But even if he did call her, they issued the arrest warrant on the 12th of May. Today is the 19th. Yesterday was the 18th. He had 6 days, if he were to have contacted her, 6 days to contact her, and that's inappropriate. The day, even before the day they issued the warrant, they should have let this family know, because there have been allegations that the family has been threatened by the individual who is the target of this investigation. Allegations. But the fact is that the family is on edge, and they need to be able to protect themselves, and they need to be aware of their surroundings, and they need to be aware of the circumstances that present the threat to them. Are we waiting for another African American to die in this city before we get the same treatment that everybody else does? That is unconscionable. We are opening up to questions at this point.
How are you and the family doing today after all of this has happened?
The best thing I can say, by the grace of God, we're here. We are breathing, and at the same time, we're crying in one hand and we're fighting in the other hand. We are really at this point baffled of way the prosecutor, we've been having to tiptoe to the prosecuting office from every prosecutor we're having to deal with. The family is doing the best that we can possibly do. A mother lost a son and a soulmate of 25 years. 4 children lost their father and their brother. And to be frank, it is a disgrace the way this office has seemed to come after the assailant. The way things has been handled here is an injustice, and we believe, more so than anything, that this person has to be stopped and within the laws of America. He has to know that you cannot kill 2 people and think that it's okay. You cannot kill a father and son when you all along have been allegedly abusing the daughter. When records shows that the daughter has been abused several times. When records shows that they have gotten PPO orders. There has been a travesty here that's done by the prosecuting office. And do I think it had been different if it had been a certain another race? I surely do. Do I think it would have been different if it had been police officers? I surely do. You cannot tell me a black male, African-American male would be walking around here today if he had killed 2 police officers, black or white. No, 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 no. I doubt if the police, I doubt if, and you have the assailant right there. This is a travesty. It has to be addressed. The public needs to know and to be aware that there is a murderer who killed a father and a son. That it's been a warrant has been issued, and we, for the life of me, didn't get it until the news media itself alerted us. For whatever reason, they chose to keep it secret. It's not acceptable. It wasn't warranted because our lives are in jeopardy. At any time, my niece, my sister-in-law, my nephew, me, when the assailant has already been to my son's job a couple of times, when the mother is threatening us for lawsuits, we have been going through hell, and I'm sick and I'm tired of it, and I want justice to prevail. I want the city of Kalamazoo, the county of Kalamazoo, to step up. I want the prosecutor to do what he's supposed to do, his job. Nothing more, nothing less. We want justice.
So the Kalamazoo County Prosecutor's Office has a protocol that they don't notify people until a person has been in custody and arraigned. Why should that change in your case particularly?
Well, let me clear that up real quick for you, because whatever his protocol is, at least what he claims, I have witnessed victim support through the Victims Witness Program or the Victims Support Program prior to somebody being arrested. So we hide behind policies, okay? For instance, I'll give you another example. We had this prosecutor tell someone from the media that he called this lady yesterday when we know he didn't. We had this prosecutor tell somebody from the media that this press conference wasn't going to take place, and because of a conversation he had with family. There is nothing in that conversation that would substantiate that assertion. So whatever's being said and whatever's being presented, I would take it with a grain of salt from this prosecutor, because the fact remains, everybody has gotten support when they needed support. And they keep in contact a rape victim, which they deserve it. No one is saying, we're not here saying that victims of any kind should not receive support. We're saying that this family deserves the same support. I'll be damned protocol. I'll be damned policies. If this family loses a life because of his policies, that is negligent. Change them. But I don't believe that there's a policy written, it may be uttered, but not written, that justifies what this prosecutor has done to this family.
So to clear up your expectations, the first time we spoke earlier today, you had mentioned that he has not reached out to the family.
Correct.
Then later today, you had mentioned that he had reached out and you'll open a file against him for speaking with them. Where is the disconnect there when he can, should, and shouldn't be communicating with your clients?
No, he communicated with him today after you had talked to him about whether or not we were, in fact, what he asked was for her to keep it quiet. That's what he asked.
Let me be clear. I called him.
He did
not call me. I called earlier for him to get back with me. And they said, you can call him, Ms. Pearson, he can call you. I said, no, it's time for him to call me. I said, this is inappropriate. For the life of me, you have a man whose his record, his prior record, I don't know how he ever got out of jail anyhow. You have a man who has been abusing women for years. You have a man who has killed a father and a son in the African-American community. You have a father that is gone to come no more, or the son. At this point in time, the prosecutor says, well, this is what we do, this is what we do, this is what we do. Well, maybe you need to change your policy. Maybe you need to look more at the family. Maybe you need to look what we're going through. We have been walking on eggshells with the prosecuting office, with the detective, with the police, with them all. There are things that has been done in this case have yet to be told. That was inappropriate, and we know it has been, because we know that they can do better than what they've been doing. The sad part is about this right here, that the murderer right now could come to any one of us and kill us, and we would have never known, but for the grace of God, the news media contacted us.
Let me just share with you real quick, because she is family. Right now, the alleged, I just want to protect her. from any civil issues. Alleged, okay? I'm saying it to the same audience. So we want to protect this family. That's what I'm here for, is to make sure that we say this properly so that we protect them. So what she's meaning, she's emotional right now, what she's meaning is alleged. But to clarify, the prosecutor didn't call till after you and I had our initial conversation. So what I said to you was true. There is no mix in the message, but that's what he's trying to create. There is no mix in the message. I'm going to be honest and straightforward. Okay, I have no dog in this fight except that I'm supporting this family. So the fact is that the prosecutor did not contact this family. She called him. Then they said that she can call back or he can call her. Then that's when he asked her, keep this quiet. Then he called the media and said, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think this is going to happen. And so media calls me back and says, are there still going to be a press conference? I said, yeah. Why? And that's when I was informed. So what we said is fact-based. No matter, the timeline makes what we said true.
Is there any fear that people now knowing there's an arrest warrant out for him, that he might try to run away? Does making this public scare you? Is
this any fear that he could kill even somebody else? The fact is that we want the public to help catch him. That's what Amber Alerts are for. That's why when somebody comes up missing, what do? We put out pictures. We want this guy seen, recognized, and authorities notified. That's what we want. We want the community. What is the definition of community? We want community support. We want this individual to be brought in and to see his day in court. That's what we want. We want this case prosecuted. And we're looking to protect other people. This family isn't selfish. This is a great family. They want this guy off the street before he can possibly kill again.
What is your reaction to 2 manslaughter charges? You mentioned it's not what you wanted, not what you expected. Do you believe these are the correct charges?
I'm going to give the prosecutor on that the benefit of the doubt because I don't have all of the evidence. So I can't judge the prosecutor on that. We're not here to bash the prosecutor. We're here to ask for justice. And we're asking for equal treatment. The 14th Amendment guarantees equal treatment. We want equal treatment for this thing. That's all we're asking for. And so the prosecutor, we hope that the prosecutor is successful. We hope that the prosecutor is effective. And I also hope that the charges he brought are appropriate. That's what I hope. The family just want accountability. This is not a hateful family. They're not looking for revenge. They just want accountability. And they want other people not to suffer the same circumstances or the same pain that they are. I know this family for over 50 years, and it's a good family.
You talked about the timeline and how word got spread that the arrest warrant's been issued, and then how the charges are now issued. He's still out there, and it's been 6-7 days, depending on what we're referencing back and forth. Accountability in terms of the prosecutor's office, with regards to the suspect, that 2 counts of manslaughter, and however else each and every single person behind you and beside you wants to see them. As your prosecutor, what does accountability mean in terms of his office and the standard that, unfortunately, the protocols and bylaws have set aside in terms of due process and what can be publicized and what can't be publicized? What does accountability mean in this case to set the precedent?
Accountability deals, there are 2 issues that you're referring to with accountability. The family wanted accountability as it relates to the case itself. In other words, the family wanted the prosecutor to do his job. That's all they, not to ask Ms. Pearson to be his unlicensed therapist and to lay down on the couch and bellyache about what he doesn't have or what he can't do. She didn't ask for that. She asked about the case. Where is it at? So the prosecutor, as far as the accountability with the case, like I said, I can't talk to that because I don't know the facts as it relates to the evidence that the prosecutor and them had put together in relationship to which charge he used, what the evidence that he used to determine which charge. I can't speak to that. But what I can speak to is accountability to this family. When you issue an arrest warrant and you have been told that there have been alleged threats against the family, you immediately let that family know of the increase up in the ante in this case as it relates to an arrest warrant out there, and we don't know how this guy may react to that. This family needs to be able to protect themselves. This family needs to be partnered up. This family doesn't need to be going to the grocery store in the dark at night without somebody else holding their hand.
Exactly.
This family needs to be going places doubled up, tripled up, and they need to be staying out of certain areas right now until the police are able to catch this guy. That's the issue here. And by the way, if that's the protocol, then why is it on social media?
Thank you.
Why has it been talked about for 5 days by people on social media? The only thing I see is that the prosecutor just blew them guys off. Because if you wanted it to be private, if you wanted it until after you arrest and arraign this guy, and you didn't feel that you were obligated to let them know, then don't let the world know either. That's the problem. You let the world know, but you didn't let the family know.
Well, to challenge that, it is public. You can look it up on
Exactly.
Register of Actions. Why take so long for you to notice until in live contacts?
Because they have not ever updated the family as to the stats. The family, this has been going on since January 10th. So you want them to look at the Register of Action every day from January 10th and on? Who does that? I'm an attorney, I don't even do that. Who does that?
Now I say this right here. With the prosecutor, I believe at times the disrespect, there was times that we didn't know if we was talking to the defense attorney, still the prosecutor. That's how deep it's been with this. This situation here, where the alleged murderer is free to walk around for 5 months and to have our family on pins and needles. We have to pick where we go, could not go. But the biggest issue even now is that you have him still out and you have not made a public announcement to the public to say we have a double murderer out allegedly that you guys need to be aware of so you can be safe too. The public at now, you're at risk because he's desperate now, allegedly. He's desperate now. So for us to not to have that concern, but if it's somebody else's child or daughter, then you're going to wonder, okay, why did we know about this? Well, we're trying to make you aware of this. We've been trying forever to make y'all aware of this. We have been in the dark. We have been put on. We have been told some things that just been so disrespectful to our family. It's saddened us.
Let me close out with this real quick, because she makes a very good point about the registry. But if the registry is expected for them to check, the fact remains he knows where the registry goes. So he knows he's not keeping it a secret. So
Exactly.
That's a nullified policy.
Exactly.
He's throwing it up in your face to throw your focus off. Because the reality is you just asked me that question. Right? So the whole public has access to it.
Exactly.
So why not give them, before it goes on the registry, the accommodations or the courtesy of a phone call? Because the world can see it.
That's all we ask.
Okay? Listen, I thank you so very much, all right? I got to get going because I got to drop papers off at another courthouse. Okay? Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.